So this is a different kind of video that we're doing. Today I'm here with my dad, and he's going to answer some questions that hopefully might help anybody that is watching. Could be one person, could be my cousin Jesse, shout out Jesse, or it could be a million people. We won't know, but I'm going to ask him some very important questions that other people may find nice to know. So what is your name?
My name's Abel Hernandez. I am Matthew's father, which you call him Thick.
So for people who don't know, where did you grow up at, and how did you end up where we live now?
I grew up, born and raised down in L.A., Torrance, and then lived in Norwalk when I was tiny, a baby, and then moved to Hawaiian Gardens and went to elementary school, Hawaiian Gardens at Hawaiian School Elementary, and then went to Tetzlaff Junior High, then went to Artesia High for a couple months, and then we moved up here to Northern California in '79.
And what do you think was the car scene like back when you were growing up?
Oh, this car scene's a little different than what I did. We ran truck runs. So I had a lowrider Nissan pickup, had 415s in it. And we go to truck runs. So I was in my truck club that I was in is out of Buena Park, and it was California Cruisers. And you can see that truck in the video, the Cars That Go Boom. Listen to that video and you see that truck with 14 15s in a ramp. And that was the president of our club, and we had truck runs, so we literally would take off, and I think there was like 20 of us or more, and then we'd have motorcycles that were our scouts ahead of us, and then we just start dodging through traffic, and they would set the traffic. We start passing each other to keep going, passing all the traffic and stuff, and we'd go to truck runs, and I mean, and then we just partied. That's the thing, is those truck runs were different than what you guys do here with these kind of car scenes. This is new stuff to me, and it's fun.
So what do you think of the last 4 to 5 years that has changed in my life from not knowing anything about cars to completely switching to running events with Cali Creaming and Sean and CJ and all those guys?
Oh, with him not knowing nothing about cars, first car is the dollar car, and he'll show a picture of that. Hopefully someday you'll see it. And he put it all, we made it all black, which he wanted it blacked out. His uncle sold it to him for $1. And then he worked on it from there and turned around, sold that one, and he bought this thing here, bone stock, and he built it from there. He did all this sort of stuff to it, everything, all the wide body, the big wheels. I mean, this is insane. We had lowriders, but we didn't, hydraulics and all that, but the air stuff wasn't in back then in the 80s. But this is a one-of-a-kind car. There's not too many cars like this exact car. Everybody wants to build a Scat Pack and a Hellcat. Well, he can afford this, and anybody else can afford this. So that's what we want to do.
Everybody's budgets are different.
Yeah,
so.
Budgets are different. Your money's different, man. You got money, you can build whatever you want. I mean, heck, I was making $12 an hour, and I had my truck. I paid $165 a month on that truck. My uncle got it for me, and I built it from there. And this is my style, my way, what I could afford. But I went into the stereo system instead of the hydraulics. I was too cheap. It was only $1,500 back then to have a dancing bed. I was too cheap to have the dancing bed, but all my buddies did. But it was pretty cool. I mean, we cruised Whittier, La Puente, and we drag raced Crenshaw Boulevard. My cousins had drag cars, race cars. So they would race down the Crenshaw Boulevard, middle of the night. And when you see Fast and the Furious, we were Fast and the Furious back then, because we're running from the cops, we're flying, we're jamming, It was pretty crazy. It was a wild times, fun.
What is a piece of advice that you would give your younger self?
My younger self?
Like I say, early 20s.
Early 20s?
Something that you know now that you wish your younger self would have known.
Too much clubbing. Did a lot of clubbing. I could have put more money into my truck or saved more money, because I didn't save money. I went paycheck to paycheck. I wish I'd have saved more money to where, I could have a lot more, which I lived week by week And a lot of people in this, this world go week by week, but they want to have something. You got to save for it. The hard part is saving. And if you can, get it. Because, I mean, I have a little boat. I mean, I want a bass boat, but I had a little tiny boat and it does the same thing, but save your money. But, when you start having kids and stuff like that, it changes. But in your 20s, have fun. Go do things. Go like this, build a car. He's got the greatest opportunity to build him a car. I did the scene, what you guys are doing. But now, he's doing this. This is amazing. This is fun. Me and the wife go to the shows, and hell, we were first down to, I think it was, I don't know if it was Riverside or somewhere we went, and they had this two-step thing. Well, we live in the country. We think somebody's dancing. The two-step, country two-step. No, it's the cars popping and making this noises. And I was like, me and the wife were laughing. It was hilarious. But
how old were you when you had your first son?
Josh's 35, so I was, God, it had to have been 27. I don't know. Let's see. Josh is 30, 34.
Someone do the math.
34 from 60. So 60, 30.
Not the best education.
Yeah, no, I was 20. I want to say I was 27.
So, with you being obviously, 27 is probably around the close age of people that have kids nowadays. It might be older now, but what's advice you'd give to a first-time father?
First-time father, enjoy every second. You have that child, step up. Enjoy every second because it goes by fast. I mean, these kids were babies, and then all of a sudden now they're playing basketball, they're playing football, and those days go by fast. Enjoy the time with it. Spend all your time with your kids as much as you can, because you're going to lose that time. Because I worked out of town for 3 years with my son. I missed a lot of his stuff when he was younger, when he was 7, 8 years old, 9 years old. He's into football, but I wasn't home, only on the weekends. So it was rough, leaving out of town for a whole week and then come back on the weekend. It's a rough thing. Stay with as much as you can, be with your children. Be with that kid. Watch every little thing that happens to that child, what it does. They start talking, they start running, they start playing, they start doing things, building puzzles, doing crazy stuff. It's gonna open your eyes up going, wow, this is really cool. So enjoy every second with your kid, whether they're, a baby to now, 24, 34, 40, 50 years old, whatever. Enjoy every minute with the kids. Be there for your parents, have fun with your parents. That's what you have to do.
That's one thing I noticed. I don't have a kid, maybe one day, but my brother has a son, so my nephew, ever since I know he was conceived, right, it's just very different because I've always had an older brother, so having somebody younger to kind of look after as like a younger brother, but a nephew, but kind of feels like a son because he's always in my room whenever I'm editing or whenever I come home. Obviously my dad and everybody gets the same thing when you come home. He's like, oh, you're home. It's a weird feeling, but it's cool to see the progression of being obviously 1 month to now he's 3 months.
3 years.
Or 3 years old. Like I was going to say 3 years and 1 month, but we're not there yet. Being 3 years old to having sentences, he can say sentences, he builds blocks, he plays games that I used to play when I was a kid. But when I was like 10, he's playing them as 3 years old, which is crazy. But it's very different and a kind of like surreal feeling. And I'm sure it'll hit when he gets to like kindergarten and when I have my own kid. It'll be very eye-opening. But what would you say is your happiest moment of being a father?
The happiest moment of being a father? Just having a child. Like we made this. Me and my wife, we made this child. It's like the greatest thing in the world. You conceived a person, a human being, and then just seeing it, talk, crying and all that sort of stuff, holding it. Because I was born, in rough neighborhoods and stuff, so I wasn't into that sensitivity stuff, that love type thing. You know, it was all rough. You have to handle yourself, take care of yourself, which we had, you know, a big family, so we were all right. But is having the little one running around and having that child, and then growing up like my grandson's doing now, it's pretty awesome. It's fun. It's beautiful. It's great.
What's something that your father told you that sticks with you to now?
Wow. To think way back. Just work hard, protect your kids, your family. You know, you have to win at all cost, no matter what. So you know, when you're in this life, it's like a game. You know, you're trying to do better and better, and trying to, you know, win. Try to you know, get a brand new car. You know, build a car. You finish that car. Now what's next? You know, you go to the next deal. But with my dad, it was we've always worked. So I've hauled hay since I was 10 years old. And all I knew was work. So the great part about life was work, because that's all we knew.
What is the most difficult thing that you find about being a father?
Money. Everything's about money in life. It's about, because when you don't have it, it's hard to get by on life and try to be happy. But you know, you battle through all the stuff. I mean, the ups and downs are coming. They'll be there for you, but you got to look at the positive. And you know, like I got a great wife that does all the books and pays all the bills, does everything, you know, and I just work, and that's all I do. And it's a great feeling that, you know, you could have things like own a house. I never thought I'd own a house. You know, and then you turn around and now you got the house. Now you struggle through all that till you start making enough money to build, you know, the house, or to have things, buy things. It's a process in life, but the battles are there. But you got to fight them and just think positive. Because if you don't think positive, and a lot of people, you know, you bring that God in your life, and that's on you. You decide, you know, what you want to believe in life, and who's your God, or, you know, because my family's Native, so I do a lot of, you know, thought processing on Native. You know, the God's up there, you know, that will guide you. So you have to ask for it, and you have to, you know, it'll come. You just have to build towards it and get it.
Yeah, as much as people want to say money isn't everything, sadly to say, in this time, maybe back then money was a little less of a priority, but now money is probably one of the top things that you have to have. Um, because if you don't have money, obviously you can't get gas, you can't buy food. You can have your own farm, but obviously you have to have your own money first, or somebody prior to that having that farm to produce your cows to get your milk, your chickens to get your eggs, to feed the chickens, to have your own like plants and stuff to make your food. All that obviously needs money from either prior people or already had money. So money is probably the top thing, at least on my list, is a bucket list thing, is to make a lot of money so that I can help provide. Because the number one thing with being an adult like man is providing for yourself, your girlfriend, your wife, or your family. Um, but what is the final piece of advice that you'd want to give whoever is watching? Could be one person, like I said, or it could be a million people.
Final piece of advice in life is work hard. Always looking to do better in your life, better jobs. I mean, look at them. Educate yourself a lot more, and that's like construction work. You're doing construction, become an operator. You know, operate equipment. I mean, I was thrown on a rock wheel. You want to run it? Yeah. It took me 5 minutes to figure out that rock wheel, and then boom, I go 450 feet. Never cut rock wheel through. I never ran one. Ran the tiny one, you know, but not this big giant one, and it was pretty awesome. You have to, you know, get yourself educated towards everything, figuring it out. Get your Class A type thing. For your computer guys, get your equipment, talk to people, see if they can get you your stuff for your computers. You know, you can, maybe some dude will hook you up with a, you know, something to put in your computer to make you a better, you know, doing editing like Matt does. I mean, that's crazy stuff that's on that computer that I don't even understand. I'm not computer savvy, whatever. It doesn't happen. I mean, I used to do it a long time ago when my son Josh was 5. We had computers, and I get on there, look at Bass Pro Shop, and that kid's on there, and it would shut down on me. It would freeze, and then he'd get on there and play for an hour, and he can't read or write, but he can see anything he wants and play it and do everything. It's crazy. But for you in life is just to educate, get better yourself in any position in life. Better yourself. Step up your game. I mean, and you take no for an answer. You know, you have to step up. A lot of the old days, we let our work do the talking. You have to let your work do the talking. And then they will talk about you and how good you are. You know, that's what I look forward to, is when someone says you're a good worker, you're a hard worker. That satisfies me. And that's what I was trained by my father, is the main thing. And my mom is, put your head down and bust your ass. Work hard, and then it'll all pay off in the end. Because you'll always need a job. Somebody will always come up to you and, you know, hey, I got a better job than, you know, to make more money. My brother did that. I was working in the natural gas, making $7 an hour. My brother says, hell, you come over here and make freaking 9.5. I'm gone. I left. They couldn't figure out why I left. To make more money, to better myself, end up getting a Class A, becoming, you know, working for a huge company, Hinkles and McCoy. You know, this is, 50 states, 6 different countries. And then I got my Class A, and I became a lineman, did all that stuff. So you improved myself, made more money, bought a house. That's how you go. You know, you improve yourself. You learn how to adapt and learn how to work with others, you know, and let your work do the talking at all times. But the ultimate goal is, the old school saying is, the man with the most toys wins. And that's the ultimate goal. Get everything you possibly can, but you got to work hard for it, and it'll come.
But that's basically it. Thank you, Dad, for
You bet, son.
coming here and answering some questions for the people. We'll do a more kind of like in-depth video of my dad and his backstory. Just let me know if you want to see that. I'm still gonna make it, but I'd appreciate the support. So thank you guys. We'll see you guys in the next one.